Welcome back to Wrestling with Ski. It actually didn't glitch out on me, so carry on, Justin. What?
Normal.
I'm going to sit here in awe because that hasn't happened in weeks. Carry on, my wayward sons.
Hey, welcome, Dan Stevens. It's about time you get on this damn thing.
Fight, Stevens, fight.
Justin mentions you every episode repeatedly, so now you guys actually have a face to go with it and words.
It's not a very pretty face, but it is a face nonetheless.
Why do you think I have all this?
I would say we're all a bunch of goofy motherfuckers, you know?
I mean, hat, beard, you can't see. No one's seen my face since 2011 because I was still on active duty then. Haven't had a face since then. And I'm quite all right with that. So, Justin, you Oh, it's got a stupid pop up. Carry on.
Upgrade, like, is somebody joining that we don't know? Like,
I don't know, it just popped up. It threw me off for a second. What the hell do you want now?
All right, so like we got a whole bunch of random notes that we kind of just, No,
so ready, go. I'm ready for anything.
Let's start out with the thing we first talked about, Mount Rushmore's and Jim Ross and a cannabis farm. Both of them obviously don't go together. No offense to Jim, but we wanted to hit our own route, Mount Rushmore. So first and foremost, my first thought was China. I mean, trailblazing, did stuff outside the norm of women's wrestling. Could have been more, wish it would have been more, for the simple fact of, what she got involved with and, try to get herself back in good graces. Unfortunately, another life taken too early, what could have been. Dan Stevens, you want to throw one out there on your Mount Rushmore?
I got Charlotte. Love her, hate her. I hate how
Yes.
she gets 9 billion titles, but she is the best I've ever seen do it.
Yeah.
The things she can do.
She can
She's
do it all.
still not the greatest on the mic, but she has gotten better though. They don't throw her off every time they boo her and stuff, but like they used to. They used to take her 15 minutes to get one sentence out.
Yeah, she definitely just needs to stop looking like Cher. They really need to tone that down.
She just needs to stop in general with all of that.
Yeah, performance-wise, hands down, she can carry anybody. No offense to Shotzi, I think not to go off on a side rant right away, but she did make a few saves. Good match overall. Even though we haven't gotten really going in SmackDown, but just women's wise, it was
Yeah. Then to have her go, have her mollywop, Sasha. I'm always okay with that. I don't know.
A lot of
About
reactions
Sasha
like-
that hurts my head.
Yeah, a lot of reactions like, okay, so who's the heel? Is it Sasha? Is it Shotzi? Like, I see where old man was going with it, but
He didn't know where he was going with it either.
yeah.
And then, they had to mention how she rides a tank like 7 times.
7 million times.
It could be worse. We could still be hearing the big dog every 5 seconds.
Don't
This is true.
Don't
Or
even.
boss time.
It can always be worse.
Or
That's
boss
just
time.
Yeah. I'm just happy I no longer have to hear Pat McAfee say the dirty dogs. At least for a year, I will not have to hear him mention that. That's just something about it that, they said, it's just too much. Again, it's boss time or the big dog, or it just gets beaten to death. Like the way everyone's using the phrase, going after you're just a rookie. How many times have we literally heard that this year, especially out of the commentary team across the board during Ciampa and Breaker. Literally, if they mentioned he was a rookie one more time, I was gonna turn it off, regardless of how much I like Ciampa. That has been their whole theory this whole entire year, and it kind of makes me run out in traffic on purpose this time.
But we can't mention that he's, a Steiner. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
that one doesn't.
Why
I
can't you let him use the name?
Well, I don't care if you let him use the name, at least acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Acknowledge
Like
me.
Rick didn't do anything. It's the other brother that's all jacked up on drugs and a jerk.
And I can
Yep.
understand. I can understand why they wouldn't mention it or let him use it, like because it's just like hate to go into a quick sidebar with football. Everyone's comparing Jones to Brady, like or you know what I mean. Like I can understand from the family aspect. I mean, we all know who the new Uso is. I mean, that's a given. Don't get me wrong, and he looked good, you know. But stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like using the different names. So even though us guys like us know.
But historically, that's what they do. I mean, how many? They still mention Natalia's father and
Yeah.
Brett
and,
and everyone else. They just never
and you
stop
know
that.
and Charlotte and everybody who's somebody.
Yeah.
Good
Right, so
job,
we
Maybe
got-
Vince.
someday they'll do it.
Good job, Vince. We'll blame that one on Vince.
So we got China and Charlotte. One
Those are
that-
good.
One out throwing out there, obviously old school Moolah. I mean,
She has to go on there.
Yeah.
Regardless of everything that's come out about her, it's still moving.
yeah. Oh yeah. And I said it's more, I think we're more basing it off the performance end of it. I mean, you know, Moolah, I mean, what isn't? You know what I mean?
She hold the title for like 900 years.
Yeah.
Like
And still keep people intrigued. Like that's the big thing, you know, to be able to hold it for so long and, you know, keep people wanting to see those or you know matches with her.
and she didn't give birth to a hand with Mark Henry, so that's a plus for her.
It's a hand. Oh, you're welcome, Halloween.
That's one of the stupidest storylines.
It's a hand.
Oh, don't get me started, please.
Like we were crying last time we mentioned that. There was tears. You got to give Mark credit. I mean, for the love of God. I mean, it's a hand.
At least it wasn't John Cena's hand. You were able to see it.
Oh my God.
I saw it right there. You're welcome.
I didn't think of that one. There you go. Touche.
And it starts.
Can't see me.
But I
Yeah.
have Trish. I know she wasn't the most. I think she was better when she as she got longer in her career. At first, it was the whole TNA thing, Tess and Albert. It was more of a showboaty attitude era, kind of edgy
Thing.
kind of stuff. But when she came back for that once and done with that women's evolution thing, I thought she wrestled better. I don't know. I mean,
Good. I mean, her original run, she was good towards the end, but like
yeah.
in the same regard, you don't know what she was because Vince just threw her in brawl and panty matches with Stacy Keebler week after week.
Yeah, there's a long time where that all it was.
I mean, her.
Oh, we're gonna switch it up this week. We're gonna have mud wrestling.
Yeah, like I mean, her and Lita thing, hands down, was I think the best, performance wise.
Yeah.
That's probably the best women's feud of all time.
Because they could both go. Like that was the key right there. They were good enough to get on the main event of Raw at that time. And they did not disappoint. So that should tell you where they were.
Yeah.
It's Vince we're talking about here. I mean, they were fully clothed the whole time and they were in the main event. Like, come on.
Speaking of Trish, I saw that last post about her mom bod. Like, I don't know what kind of mom bod looks like, but
Sign me
she
up.
still got it.
Mom bod
at that
for
age.
ass. That's a mom bod. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then honorable mention Mae Young. We just for all the tables she got put through by Bubba.
I mean,
Like-
she was.
We have to.
Mae Young was 1,000 years old and she still was taking more bumps than Goldberg did his entire career. And she was taking crazy bumps, like off the stage through shit.
Yeah, telling wrestlers not to be pussies about stuff. I mean,
And she's a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Like, God bless Mae Young.
Yeah.
God, I mean, what do you remember about her? What, all the dumb shit in the Attitude Era? But man, you
hands
remember,
and tables.
it's a hand. Like, whoever, like, was that a Russo thing? It had to be a Russo thing.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I want
That's
to know,
actually
like,
too dumb for Russo.
how did they like bring that up in like a production meeting? Hey, we're gonna have old ass Mae Young be in a relationship with a 400-pound sexual chocolate, and they're gonna give birth to the Hamburger Helper mascot? Like,
I'd like to know.
like
who fucking-
how's that happen?
Oh, someone was high. Lots of someone. They like. I just want to know who actually came up with it. Like,
Just makes you wonder, well, like, what were they doing at the production meeting? Were they all drunk?
I mean,
High? Like,
it was a different time, as they say.
I mean, I hate to touch base on again, but like, they had to been on something with the whole Katie Vick angle. Like, when you come up with something so morbid,
Hmm.
like,
Oh,
you've got to, you know, I read his Vince first creative posts and stuff like that, and it's like, is it on the fly? Do they actually put thought into it? Like,
yeah.
I think being on the fly would be way too much like discipline for him. Like I think it's just like, here's poop, see what happens.
yeah,
Just flinging out
And
the wall.
that's like his whole thing.
Yeah, like literally, sadly.
Because like really, there's only like three things that he does. It's like give the title to Charlotte, got to make Roman look good, bring in the old guy. Like, got to bring in. Where's Goldberg? Where's Brock?
speaking of Goldberg, he has one match left on his contract.
Yeah, I
Thank
saw it.
God.
Hey,
Thank God.
For his contract, though, I mean, we still have blood money to be made. You know,
hey,
no
this at least this last match with Bobby wasn't
have
as
to
bad
say-
as his run in Saudi in
yeah,
prior years. I mean, no one died after how many times. I mean, literally. I mean, I guess he's got to say, "I could kill you," and all the fans are going, "Yeah, you very well might."
yeah.
But you were that close last time. It was better than his last one. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, overall, Crown Jewel was a solid card too. You know,
yeah, like that was the best Saudi card. They like.
yeah.
I mean, they were selling it as the greatest like match of the year, Brock and Roman. I mean, that was a better card than solid card through than Mania.
The only time Taker was
Which goes to tell you that wouldn't even rank in like the top 10 Dynamite episodes of the year. Horrible. Come on, Vince. We deserve better.
yeah.
And they can do better.
Hey, that was the first time Undertaker was over in Saudi where he didn't almost die, and he wasn't even there at the pay-per-view.
It was the first Taker moment in Saudi that wasn't complete garbage. That's just good. Like, weird him going out and introducing Pitbull, though. I mean, like that. Who'd you suck off to get that one accomplished? I don't know, because that's just go back into all the gear to introduce.
I don't know. Is Pitbull a wrestling fan? I never even read up on that. Maybe he is.
I mean, he has a NASCAR team, so I mean, weirder things have happened.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah, started a NASCAR team this year's his team's first year.
Yeah.
See, like, so find out all kinds of weird stuff. So,
Wow.
but it was a good card though for Saudi. I mean, it was good. I've seen worse. Seen a lot worse Saudi shows. So I'll give him that. And
Brock Lesnar got suspended and fined.
$1 million.
watch out. $1 million.
Well, we know what that's going to lead to. He'll show up in the Royal Rumble.
He'll show up and just beat the living shit out of you. I give Paul Heyman credit though. I mean, Heyman's
That was good. As I said, as I called it, man, he was gonna tell the story. Like neither Roman or Brock needed to do anything except talk. Like Heyman sold that whole storyline. I think if Lesnar back at the Rumble, I think he's just gonna come out at the Rumble, beat the snot out of Reigns. I don't even think it'll be in the Rumble match. I would hope they wouldn't and not waste a Royal Rumble win for someone else who needs one. You know what I mean? I'm going with it. Like,
Yeah.
Let's not have Brock win and waste a Rumble win spot. I'm hoping that's not the case.
I don't know. I'm just still on how they were talking about how they never, like Brock came and unleashed hell like we've never seen. I mean, like Michael, you do remember a few years ago after Seth cashed in, right? Flipped an announce table over on top of you guys and just blew everything to pieces. I mean, it's what Brock does. He gets shafted. He comes up the next night. He blows everything to pieces. He gets suspended indefinitely.
Yeah.
And then we see him 6 months later. He goes back to Saskatchewan. And, maybe he'll even get on top of his wife tonight.
Yeah, cuts some meat, plays with meat, gets on with his wife, throws some hay bales. And he's back.
He goes and does Brock Lesnar things. He makes more for that shit. Man.
And I mean, he is not a free agent anymore. He's actually drafted to SmackDown. So if anyone didn't catch that one.
I
Yep.
did see that because that's really important because we actually believe that means something.
Yeah, has to be. But yeah, it was
So
overall.
until that feud's over, and then he'll go,
I'm just
beat
wondering.
up Big E or something.
That's what I'm saying. I'm wondering if, wild card theory here. We've heard Roman wants to pass the torch to Drew. I'm wondering if between now and WrestleMania, or even at WrestleMania, since we all know Rock and Roman's probably not going to happen until WrestleMania 30, whatever they supposedly pushed it back to. I wonder if it's going to be a triple threat. That way, if Drew does win, Roman doesn't get pinned. Let's say Drew pins Lesnar. Roman still looks strong because he wasn't the one pinned, and Roman can take some time off, and then Lesnar goes back to Saskatchewan again, and then we have Drew on SmackDown. That's the only possible thing I can really honestly think of.
Brock Lesnar goes to do Brock Lesnar things, which is whatever the hell Brock Lesnar wants to do.
I don't really want to see Drew. I don't want to see Drew beat Roman.
I don't think he really even needs it, regardless.
No.
Give someone else a shot.
To be honest, though, I can't think of anybody outside of Brock that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
They don't have nobody.
If they weren't going to pull the trigger with all the matches that KO had with him, which, by the way, I'm still pissed at that 7. I mean, the referee could have went back to catering and came back. By the time he finally went, man, he's not working the key.
Got a sandwich, forgot his drink, went back again,
and he still would have been fiddling with the damn key, But if they weren't going to pull the trigger on KO or Brock, I mean, I can't think of they don't have
or Edge. Edge is the one guy. If he was going to beat him,
yeah,
that would have been good. So
and I do. They better give him a run before he's done.
Yeah,
I would love to see Edge get the Universal title. And we all want Big Goldie come back, but I could see Edge passing it to Balor. That would be a really good story.
They'll fuck it up. That's what they do.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they do, actually. Every single time.
Balor, to me, deserves the run that he never had because he toughed it out in a match and still won the title with a messed up shoulder, for God's sake.
Because he popped it back in and kept going.
I was telling my wife not too long ago, I was like, how the hell have they made a way that I don't care about AJ Styles? AJ Styles is one of my top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time. I do not care about anything he's doing right now.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Kind of takes talent.
Literally the phenomenal one. And you got him babysitting some 7-foot oaf who can't wrestle.
Pretty much.
We will give him us credit. At least
maybe we'll have a single run.
But no offense to Stahl, though, he wanted a lighter schedule. He wanted, not saying he doesn't want to put the work in either. But
he said he was done after his last contract.
Yeah.
Then some good brothers decided to run their mouth. And next thing they know, AJ got paid way more money than he ever thought possible. And now he's literally just running around with Sasquatch. But at least Sasquatch has he's gotten a little better. Granted, he was completely terrible.
He's a quarter step better than the great Khali, which isn't saying a whole lot.
Hey,
it's about what he is.
Compared to where he was at the beginning, I mean,
yeah.
We'll get a snack.
A quarter step better than Khali. I mean, that's better than he was before, because he was like the Giant Gonzalez when he started. He was just there. To me, he was just there. There was nothing good. Oh, look, there's an idiot in a giant coat. There was nothing exciting about it, it was. But
what other wrestlers can we think of that
making AJ vanish? That is a gift, isn't it? And by the way,
really
RK Bro, hopefully they stick around and keep that for forever. And 2, Balor deserves that title reign because 1, he never lost it, and they literally had him pump back to life, wipe out Roman and the Usos, and a turnbuckle explodes and he falls down and suddenly he's dead. That was like Seth Rollins Hell in a Cell match stopping level. That was it. That was it. Seth and the Fiend in the Hell in a Cell as we're going, stop the match, and everyone's watching going,
Did they just stop the match?
Like, excuse me, what? Like, that's kind of the level of him dying because the turnbuckle, yeah, and he like he
But again,
deserves something 'cause that's some shit.
Come down to Vince wants Reigns to break the 4-3-4 to give that last jab to Punk to knock him down another spot.
To be honest, I don't mind that. Like they've built Roman up enough,
Yeah,
but it's this stupid stuff. Like,
yeah.
There's a lot.
and also it drives me nuts that they have now killed Demon Balor like 5 times. Has he won a match as Demon Balor
Yeah.
on the main roster?
Ooh,
That I don't think he's won one since he was in NXT.
he pulled the demon out against
The Fiend.
No, Brock.
Well, I mean,
Did he
like,
pull it out when he won the Universal title and he fought?
no,
Seth?
Yeah.
No,
I
he was just.
thought he faced Bray. Just
that was
Bray.
normal Seth. I mean, that was normal Finn. That wasn't Demon Finn.
Was it? Okay, I thought I couldn't remember.
Well, against Seth. Like, there
Against
was
Seth. He fought Bray both twice. Once normal,
normal
once
once.
Yeah.
And that was one of the greatest, like, just pull it out everyone. Like, that was great. Like, until, you know, he went like kind of everything else before it goes to the main roster. At least when it was the black and gold brand, like, it was all so good. And then it got there and you're going, like, Ricochet,
Yeah.
artist formerly known as Aleister Black. I mean, the list does continue as the second they hit the main
Karrion Cross. I don't really like Karrion Cross to begin with, but God, that's so bad what they're doing to him.
Well, the repackaging.
You had that though.
Yeah, but the
That
repackaging.
helped.
Speaking of Cross, they're
Scarlett
repackaging.
makes everything better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Even like a guy like Nakamura. And like they've tried too. Like, I mean, they gave him the Royal Rumble win. They've given him how many?
I really wish he would have won at Mania. They should have gave that to him. They could at least had a good solid 6 to 7 months, something good with him as champion. That was another Vince thing that really.
hey, but look at that year though. Look what they did to him and Asuka simultaneously in the same year.
Yeah.
They come up, they win the Rumbles, they're going, and he kills absolutely both of them. And you forget they're even in the company for 2 years.
And it goes back to the simple fact that they've proven Vince is not all about the indies.
Oh, wait. They did give the title to Asuka just so she can lose it 10 seconds later, just so Charlotte could have a title to lose going into Mania.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was Asuka's first, like, here you go, you get to be champion for 8 seconds. You know, from this indestructible force to like a garbage bag.
Yep.
And about she faced off against who was that? That could never drop a title ever. Because she could drop a title. That's why she's been 7,000 time champion. I wish that she would do some champion shit though. Now look how long he was there, just building up people and telling great stories and great feuds and building up younger guys without having a title. Like, believe it or not, if they actually put effort into, look at the Attitude Era. There was women's champions, but there was other angles going on with women involved. Like, you can have stories with them when they're not in the like title. Like, you could do stuff, believe it or not. And Charlotte could actually build people without her being the champion 857 times.
That's what we used to build up. You know, it wasn't always about a title shot. I see the pattern. Oh, we're gonna have Shotzi face a champion and then loses, and then people cry about Shotzi not being properly built when Shotzi could have faced another main event card person and not be thrown in with Charlotte right away. That's the problem. They're not building.
And you know what their other problem is? You guys will agree with me on this. What did they say the whole time during the draft on Monday? What? Fresh starts, right? I went off about it earlier. So let's see. We had Roode and Ziggler against the Street Profits against whoever the hell the other team was. I don't even remember. They came from SmackDown, the Alpha Academy. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so we had those three so that Ziggler and Roode could win, so they could, carry on their thing and then lose. And they had Carmella and Liv again with the stupid mask where they had Liv going and then they killed it. And they literally took everything from one show and moved it to the other and took everything from that. Like, if it's a fresh start, why are the same rivalries carry? Like, it's the same, like, it's nothing new.
Yep.
Like, they just, wow, you switch nights, but it's literally the same. And that whole entire match with Carmella, they spent more time with Carmella and Graves at the table and talking about that than they did the actual fucking match. You know what? I don't even have to censor myself. He dropped one already. They spent more time talking about those two suckers than they spent on the entire fucking match between Carmella. Like it was all about Graves and Carmella. Like they love to just shoot themselves in the foot at even the simplest little things they can't figure out. Somehow they still have the ratings though, which mind boggles me by so much.
I don't, yeah. And then, we get this women's tournament, and let's give the queen of the ring first ever to Zelina Vega, who can't pull off a simple wrestling move.
Yeah, she got that match like Hannah looked and went, I mean, that was pretty. So, I mean, like you could, but I was like, yeah, but if it wasn't for Doudrop, like what Doudrop, that was Doudrop. Like, no offense to Zelina, was that like, hey, we're doing, and they got her back. We're doing a Queen's Crown tournament. We're gonna give it to you. So then you're gonna suddenly have a shitty British accent that she only did for half of the promo. Like she kept going between like talking like a Brit to talking like shit. Like she kept like what like what like
talking about how she's the greatest, in which I don't think she's won a match before this tournament in like ever.
Like she's like there's so much talent. There's so much talent up here.
They needed to have a heel win it because they were going to have what's his face win it on the men's side, and you had to. He's a good guy, and he deserved a bone since he gave the other two New Day guys titles. Yeah. Hey, you can be king of the ring.
Yeah,
but Doudrop should have won that tournament.
Oh yeah, hands down.
That's true. Like one, I don't build her. The other thing I hate about that is like they make her look like this fat blob on purpose. Like I saw, she just got married right after she got called up.
Yeah,
very, very pretty woman. Like stop on purpose making her look like a blob.
Yeah.
If I was her, I wouldn't take that. Like she's a talented person. Like
she can go.
Like, that doesn't need to be your character.
And that's the thing. She is a very gorgeous woman. Like if you check out her IG and her posts and stuff, she is. It's just the attire that Vince threw on her makes her look like that. And I hate to say it, I'm even going to go there with freaking Nia. Like
Nia's the same way too.
The attire doesn't fit, but it's
don't talk to me about Nia.
If you check out Nia's Instagram, she is attractive in her own way with what she actually wears in her life. It's just that fact. I totally agree with you, Dan. Piper. I hate. Oh God, I hate that name.
Piper never.
Do not get me wrong. Piper says, she was given this opportunity by Vince. She's going to run with it. She has a great relationship with Vince from what I've read in articles. So at least that's there, to kind of eventually down the long run go, okay, hey, you gave me this. I've run with it. Let's do something, She kind of has that ammo. Like I think she's going to be that person that will give and will take what is given and she'll run with it. Just like Corbin. You make the most of it. And I think
I heard him oversell one more really bad joke, though. I'm going to put my head through a wall. Thankfully, I have a chunk of drywall to fix said hole after I put my head through it. So I'll be able to fix it. But some of those jokes make like, can we have the constable back? Why? Because no. Like overselling stupidity hurts. But yeah, she's one like best ever. Let's not talk about Nia, though. Nia's like a fucking wrecking ball in the ring. That's all she's good for.
Oh yeah, but we're talking just
attire wise, yes. But guess what? Yeah. If she wasn't related to that guy, she would have been fired a long time ago. At least Piper, Doudrop, whatever the hell you want to call her. At least she has like talent and she's safe. And like Nia's a fucking wrecking ball. Like she's a walking disaster.
Piper's been out since NXT UK, so like.
I don't know. She upset me. I wish they'd put her back on NXT because she's gonna get lost now. Yep. Like they kind of hinted at like she was gonna go into a rivalry with Shayna right before the draft, and then they drafted Shayna to SmackDown.
Yep.
Like so, there goes like your mid-card feud. There's no way they're gonna feed her to Becky.
Nope.
Like no way.
No way in hell. A snowflake has a better chance in hell. Like
especially with eventually I imagine Bianca's going to get her title back, even though.
Yeah, remember what I said though? That was the best part about it, going into Raw, and I did like I was talking about, they're going to carry Bianca directly over because she didn't get pinned, and we're going to see them continue it. Why? Because it's the same shit from Friday night that carries on that whole thing. But Bianca deserves it. Like, this is the first, like, Monday is where Bianca was like the first promo that really, like, she can give a decent promo. It's just this is the first time where,
I was annoyed like the first half. I've had conversations with Justin that I don't like her character at all.
Yeah.
It's always hurt my head. Like, talent wise, she's there. Her character
Oh yeah, performance
makes me want to rip my head off.
I don't like it's the stereotypical like ghetto female. I gotta take my big hoop earrings off to fight. Like, girl, just go.
Big hoop wearing earring people, but yes.
Yeah, no offense.
Like,
to that,
she
but
can just go, like, wrestle. Don't need to have that over the top.
she's a machine.
The way she carries herself in interviews that aren't WWE televised, there's a huge difference.
There is.
Yeah, and that's why I don't.
Some of us like intelligent sounding women. Like, let's.
No, it's Vince and creative being lazy. I'm going to put it out there. I am a black woman, so I'm going to act like the stereotypical. And no, she don't need to do that.
Nope.
Like, I mean, if that's who she really was, but I've heard her. She's
I've heard her.
that.
I've heard her outside of that. That is nowhere near it, I guess is the word. That's the safest word. Like, that's not it. But the first half, yes, but I mean, she did get to it. I did see her getting the title back. Yeah, the title match. I don't think they're gonna drop it from Becky while we're on that now. I think Becky's gonna hold on to it.
They might, because Vince has found a way to screw up the hottest.
Oh yes.
It's like she was at the top of the game before she got pregnant, and she comes back, and you pulled dumb shit.
Yeah, lots of it actually.
There was no reason you needed to have her win in 8 seconds.
That could have been like that could have been it.
And even though if your plan was to turn her heel, which it did, she's not even getting proper heel reaction. She's getting no reaction. She's back to Becky before she broke her nose and became the man.
Yeah.
And they don't even call her the man anymore. Like, they don't refer to her as the man, even though the man's still on her little
she's
the Jumbotron there.
She's what, big time Bex or
big time Bex. It's like
the man. It was the
what are you doing.
Like how she was putting out tweets before she came back as they were chanting. You know what? She was like, she wasn't even around for 9 months, and she was still more over than anything going. And they found a way to screw it up.
Like, they let her go shopping. They let her pick out her wardrobe out of her husband's freaking closet.
Yeah, say, look who she's married to, though. I mean, I mean, at least Seth pulls it off.
I was surprised they didn't bring back his Monday Night Messiah now that he's on Monday Night again. But
I mean, it's still early. I was waiting for it, and they didn't. Like, this is a perfect time. But I mean, I guess Evolution. But yeah, Becky and that whole thing. Like,
yeah, they could have had a full-blown match on that pay-per-view instead of 8 seconds. And even if Becky would have won, at least it would have been a hell of a match and actually gave her some credibility as a heel. She could have done something.
But her as a heel is just, it's kind of like when you watch the Stone Cold, like, document, the WWE 20, whatever the hell, like when they used to make documentaries, like you watch his. And what was this one thing? Like, just shaking Vince's hand. I wish I would have went back, shook his hand, stunned him, and walked out of the place. Why? Because the people did not want to see me as a heel. They were never going to believe me as a heel. And that's the one thing. Like, Becky's, like, it's not, like, you hear the reaction, it's not working.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
It's like some reactions you hear on, like, when the Viking Raiders came back and they had no response. Like, that's kind of where Becky's at right now. You're just sitting there going,
yeah, like they could have just carried the whole man thing, and she was actually in her own as a Stone Cold kind of figure.
She was in between. She was perfectly in between, and they fucked it up. Like, that's the machine. I thought Vince Russo shut up. Guess what? They still do it without him. God bless Vince Russo, just because I want.
What's next? Are they gonna have a brawl for all for women?
I mean, hey, there you go. I mean, at least they did. Hey, at least they didn't. At least they brought back, like, Becky and, like, did this whole, like, all that dumbness, and they didn't bring back, like, Ronda. Like, so at least there's, as we're talking about brawl for all, at least they didn't bring back Ronda. And they should have had someone different, like, better. Like, the Queen of the Ring was just Queen Grant. Like, that was just a joke. Really? I mean, who they
No,
had
well,
in it?
maybe someone in creative will watch AW on how to run a tournament in which.
I'm not gonna lie, like AEW's tournaments are actually run pretty.
And I might add, did you see how good? Like, no offense to Eddie Kingston, but did you see how good his match was with Brian last night?
Oh my God.
Like,
Yeah.
no offense, again, no offense to Eddie Kingston, but I mean, that match was like they put it together so well. I mean,
And
I
the
feel
fact-
bad for Orange Cassidy on Wednesday because I mean, at the rate Moxley's going, he's just going to run through him like he doesn't exist. But like the match, like they're putting together compelling stuff. And again, they made Eddie Kingston look like $1 million.
And then
No
the
offense to
follow-up-
Eddie Kingston.
and then the follow up with Punk. I mean, that just
You know, like no offense to Punk. I mean, that was like, oh, Mister, I'm going to put you to sleep. Yeah, when you go back to sleep, like shut up, like just stop. But and Bobby Fish, I love Bobby Fish on AEW. By the way,
agreements on that one.
I mean, compared to like where he was and the Undisputed Era, and the fact after like the UE broke up, like where the hell was he? Like hell, where the hell was he before that? Really doing it? Like, but to see him in AEW, the matches he's putting on, I've enjoyed all of his matches. Like I thought they've been.
Yeah, I mean Danielson knows how to make it work. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter who you put him with,
He can
whether
make
they
it work.
whether they win or lose, makes them look good.
Look at his match with
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston. That proves it. No offense to Eddie. He's not the most technical guy in the world. That was still a good match.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like Hannah came home and she was even sitting there just like again, she wasn't ever watched wrestling until she moved in here with me. And she sat there going, this is some good shit. Like what? No offense to Eddie Kingston, but this shouldn't be that good. Like, I mean, again, he's great at what he does in his own thing.
Yeah.
Super technical matches are not his thing, but it was still really good. So, I mean, they've put together like those tournaments are good, just like Deeb and Sheeta.
That was
Right?
a great
On the
match.
women's side, that was
That
phenomenal.
might be their best female match they've
Ever.
ever had.
Ever. Like I was giddy about it when I talked on the show, whenever that was Thursday, I guess. Like that was the match right there.
That's their hands down their best one. They screwed up their women's division even from the start though. Like their first champion was that Riho that weighs like 8 pounds.
Wet, by the way.
Like, do you really believe that she beat AEW's version of Nia Jax? Like, you really, I forget what her name is, but like, you really believe that the 8-pound Flying Fury won that? It's like, come on.
Like convenience store ham sandwich beat a foot long sub. Like, no, God,
Yeah.
that's just not happening.
Exactly. And it's just,
No, we're talking like the little appetizer small sandwiches.
Yeah, like the little like 2 bites and it's done. You're like, man, but and again, which is why I've seen all the. I mean, we've all talked about it. I mean, between group like chats and all, like Charlotte Charlotte just needs to get her shit together. Like why? Because there's nowhere else for her to. No matter where else she goes, she's not going to get the talent that she has to work with.
No.
Like no offense to their women's division, like their women's division. It's not good in AEW. Ring of Honor's gone now, at least for the foreseeable future. After December, which I mean, if they build it back and it comes back good, I'm all for that because I'm just for wrestling companies and there being more of them because that gives more talent. Like, that's a good thing for in general. But their women's division is like, I mean, no offense to Britt, I mean, but did you watch the match with her and Anna Jay? Like 2 weeks ago, even Hannah stopped and went, this sucks. Like you could see Ty Conti missing like big boots, like in the corner. You see the camera angle, you're like that went like 6 inches past her head.
Yeah, like that makes me wonder, like
It's
how
so bad.
how has Khan not thought of what WWE has actually having a separate area, a performance center? Like I know they utilize everything there,
Yeah.
but actually putting somebody in charge that knows for
Or
development.
how about they just give
You have all these old school guys that are managers and other stuff. Why can't you just find a facility and throw them down there when they're not at tapings or live events and have them,
Or
how
how
much
about-
of that's not going on though?
I mean, they could be working on it for, I mean, like,
yeah,
You know,
Well,
and-
they got Billy Gunn there, Dustin Rhodes. They have plenty of
like,
guys.
that stuff has to be working. Like they have to be. It's just, I mean, no offense to them, but like they got Britt, right? Like they got Britt. And otherwise, who's getting matches against her? People with asses. It's about it because look at Deeb and Sheeta. What was the last time they were near anything? Best women's match ever. They're not. They're going to be in a battle for a TV title, pretty much. Like they're nowhere near the actual title, and I think like having Ruby there at least gives them someone else that's competent in the ring. And her matches in AEW have been better than her stuff in WWE. But again, the machine, you're only allowed to do certain moves. I mean, look at Randy Orton. Holy shit. We knew exactly, you're still looking, but you know exactly what's coming. And you're still excited to see it, but you're only allowed to do like 8 things. Like, so, but I think Ruby helps because she's not like, way the like, no offense to her. I think Charlotte's talent wise, like in the ring, like Charlotte's better. That helped, but I mean, they're not given like Serena and Sheeta and them, like the people that can wrestle, they're not giving them the title matches. Like, again, that was the best women's match I've ever seen in AEW. Before we go in AEW, like that was glorious. So to give Zelina Vega, like, here, but you're the first Queen's crown. Like, is that the best you guys can do? Like, that's like offensive to our intelligence.
Wrestled on 9/11.
Yeah, like that's like an insult to our intelligence, which is why no one's like you're really like treating us like we're
I'm not
idiots.
saying that was the reason why they gave it to her.
I mean, it's probably a big reason.
Well,
Probably a
yeah.
big reason.
I don't know. I'm surprised she didn't, you don't feel bad how, her husband leaves and talks a bunch of trash and she gets to be queen of the ring. And, Rusev Day's wife, Rusev leaves and his wife gets put through a table for like 800 weeks in a row.
Hey, I'm not going to lie. They're like, oh, look, here comes the women's tag team champion. Like, please, at least put Lana through a table. Why make it worth something?
Yeah, make it worth something.
And boom. Yeah. Like the peasants rejoice.
I don't know how long it's going to take for her to pop up on AEW. I hope she doesn't wrestle because she brings nothing to that division, but at least as a character along with Miro.
Oh, yeah.
Since he brings her up all the time.
Yeah. But by the way, him in AEW is like, that's some good shit. Like him in AEW compared to WWE.
Yeah, him and a good handful when they went over definitely worked out for the better.
I don't know. I don't really agree with that. If you minus Rusev's stupid storyline with Bobby Lashley and his
Which, by the way,
and,
was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my.
Yeah, you take that out of it.
That's dumber
really
than the hand.
Difference. I mean, he fought for the U.S. title or Intercontinental title the whole time he was there, and that's what he is doing. Now he's not even doing anything. He lost the title, and then 4 straight weeks he's talking to himself.
Oh yeah, but comparatively, I mean, just work though. I mean, at least they gave him something.
He looks cooler, I guess.
Outside
his run when he first became Rusev though. That was
a hell of a run.
But
him coming out in the Russian tank at WrestleMania is one of my favorite.
Yeah, except that was the end of it though, because they had him lose to. They had him lose to Cena, and then what was the last? Like, then there was nothing until Rusev Day, and then he was literally the most over guy in there, and that
Vince
turned.
Like, I didn't come up with this idea. Squash it.
And that turned into the Bobby Lashley thing, which.
That is the. That makes the hand
look good,
amazing.
But you got to think though, from that angle though, look what he did when he went over to AEW, and I will say he had a hell of a run. TNT champ, like he was that, like him and Sammy's match was outstanding, but you got to go and do that, and then Lashley in the Hurt Business. Let's not get into them breaking it up until MVP gets surgery. So then suddenly the Hurt Business is back together just because. Anyway, but at least like he got to go and be Miro and have that thing there, and Lashley got to do the Hurt, like be the Almighty and actually get a title run, which I actually thought his matches during Lashley's title run were better than most stuff you've ever seen him do. I mean, he was taking bumps. He was actually doing like I thought his matches, like he made like him and Xavier and Kofi, like they shouldn't have looked. Well, him and Xavier and Hell in a Cell, it shouldn't have looked that good. But at least they both had something decent come out of that level of stupid. And what did Lana get for it? Put through tables. Like it was her damn fault, But
and don't forget, they had that like 20-second where Liv Morgan was a secret lover of Lana too.
I know.
And then that just disappeared.
I would love to be Liv Morgan's turbo lover. You're welcome, Judas Priest. You're welcome. And look what they're doing with her now. Like they built her up on SmackDown and then
yeah, I know. What happened with that? Like
She's over. That's the problem. She's over, and her name isn't her last. She's not a.
It's like
Flair's
giving,
daughter or Sasha.
it's giving one of them big suckers to a kid. He gets like the first 3 or 4 licks on it, and then he starts as soon as he starts to smile.
I mean, unless look what it's kind of like. What's her name? Rhea. Like, look how over she was, and now suddenly she's
losing her pants and her title belt.
Well, weird shit like that happens, but
I
know, but she's a women's tag champ with Nikki. No offense to Nikki, because even now in the new outfit, like the first time Hannah looked at her, she said, "That's a whole lot of ass." So that's a whole lot of ass. You should have saw her before she became almost a superhero. Like, that was a whole lot of ass. But now she's doing that, and you don't even see her. Like, you don't see her at like.
That's the thing though, with the women's tag team division, like, what is there?
Like, it started out with such momentum, and they literally just.
Well, considering the fact the entire time they've only had one real tag team and they fired them.
Yeah, and it was like
which made no sense, because you can't tell me it's like a cost thing, because those 2 Australian girls, Iconics, could not have been making that much money to move the needle.
No.
Yeah.
And were they great? No, but they were entertaining.
They were actually a team.
And they were a team.
Like a real team. Like, not just, just throw this shit together.
And
they're bound for
you
glory.
didn't have to treat them as anything special, even though they made their debut. Didn't they make their debut like beating the crap out of Charlotte or something?
Yeah, it was Charlotte. They came out running their suck, and then Charlotte, yeah.
And then Charlotte, John Cena, both of them at the same time. Yeah.
John Cena. But
the Inspiration now. That's what
yeah,
called.
But their tag team, like the tag team division there, I'm talking about the women, is kind of like how they treated the SmackDown tag team champions going into Mania, where their title match was on SmackDown, and the only thing we remember about the women's qualifier match from night 1 was wardrobe malfunctions, and I believe Mandy falling on her ass, which I didn't even see the wardrobe malfunction or Mandy falling on her ass, so this is gonna suck. And I went and got myself a beverage. I went and got some snacks. I was like, oh, that's still on. Like that, like the SmackDown tag team titles were put on the night, not even the pre-show. They were put on the SmackDown the night before. Like, the women's tag team titles are pretty much the equivalent of the SmackDown tag team titles, which, by the way, thank God the Usos, are together, and Numbnuts decided, be on the road all the time and not be a raging alcoholic, because they needed the Usos back in there. No offense to everyone else. They needed to be there, but yeah, whatever they call them, Inspiration, whatever the ring names are, I thought that was just like, to dump them, to separate them, whatever, but to fire them, right? Like, that was dumb. Like, because they were the only team minus like the Riot Squad, who was together for, not as long as that, but they were together the whole time in WWE pretty much. Yeah. Like that was the only 2. Let's throw Tamina in there. And Natty, why? Because Tamina needs to be worth something, because we've kept her along for 750 years. She's had more knee surgeries than me. That's saying something.
She has more knee surgeries than wins.
Like, yes. And what the hell are the odds that Natty's the one that got hurt? Like, how the hell does that even happen?
It's yeah.
Like, for the love of God, Natty's the one that got hurt. Like, right. Like, what? They're just trying to make Tamina feel better? Like, Natty got hurt. I'll believe that when, like, I don't even know, man. Like,
as we're continuing to talk about the women's division, Jordan Grace won the Impact Media Championship and pulled a homage to Shawn Michaels, which was nice.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I saw the link, like when they shared it in the picture, in the head, this much of the picture. I was like, good on her, and I kept going. Like, I was on my way out the door when I saw it, and then
she is very athletically gifted. I'm not.
Then I forgot.
Like, even cross utilization between Impact and AEW, which
I think that's done now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I saw an article that
I think Bound for Glory was the end of their.
Christian lost the title, so that makes.
I think that's the end of their relationship for the time being. It'll probably They'll probably redo. But at this point, though, to be honest, what does AEW gain from it?
Well, yeah, true.
Nothing. They gain. They've already surpassed anything Impact can do. Outside of Impact has way better female wrestlers than.
Oh yeah.
Or their women's division is bar none way better than AEW.
Even when Impact was TNA, like I watched for certain wrestlers during the TNA period, but I mean, hands down, I have to agree that their women's division was spot on with who they had between veterans and young and up and coming stars. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, now they got Mickie James as their champion, and I think she's going up against Velvet Sky coming up. I think what her first feud's going to be. Velvet Sky has been doing that for 900 years too.
Yeah,
she's been around for forever. Don't talk bad though.
But
gets back to Bubba. We all did. He's an angry son of a bitch, but
I have to say TNA has the formula still for the women's division.
I'm just happy that they let Mickie do something because her whole entire run with WWE last time was fucking pointless.
It started back in NXT for God's.
Hey, that was a great match though.
Oh yeah,
her and Asuka was.
Oh yeah,
that was phenomenal. It was just after you just moved on to the next night.
Yeah,
and really, what was the point? At all, literally. She came back and they wasted her. But again, it's WWE. Well, yeah, we'll hire you. Just no one else can have you, and we'll waste you for years and years and deal with it. Which is why I don't get how many people they've moved on, that have moved on and then gone to either Impact or all the guys that are in AEW. How their ratings have not gotten more than a little bump when people debuted, because they're actually utilizing lots of people, but
other than the Punk debut, Rampage is barely. I mean, you could watch reruns of The Big Bang Theory have
get a
7
bigger
times
view.
better ratings than what Rampage is doing right now.
It's just blowing my mind too.
I think the last couple ratings were barely touching 500,000.
Yeah, they're barely over.
Yeah,
and Dynamite, I don't understand why that's not higher either.
Yeah.
Especially the card they just put on Wednesday night, the return there. I mean, tell me you wouldn't want to watch this wherever the hell it is. Punk and Fish, MJF being MJF, which I know you want to talk about him, so give me a second. But MJF being MJF, Sammy Guevara and Ethan Page. I mean, Sammy's hello. Luke Rose talking, all that. Sheeta and Deeb, that was again probably the best AEW women's match ever.
Moxley versus what
Mox,
was
it? Dark Order number 10. He bit his face off.
How I want to know. That's the one thing though. How the hell did 10 get in that tournament?
That
everybody else was a big name at 10.
They set it up just what Mox is going to bite your face off and you're going to deal with it. Okay, but those matches plus the Elite versus the Dark Order, how the hell does that not get a bigger how?
I
know there's people are strictly WWE, but hey, guess what, people? If you're listening to this, watch the shit. They put on never mind Rampage. Some weeks it's good, some weeks it isn't. It's hit or miss with that. But Dynamite, normally is way better than anything else. For the week, Dynamite wins the week match wise and all every time, and they're still losing. And if you don't want to hear MJF run his suck, what the hell is the point of watching wrestling? Because there is one human being that can just naturally just go out of his way and just make you hate him. Damn it, MJF is that guy. Carry on, everybody.
MJF, he's the man. I got a little man crush on him. I don't know. It's weird. Me and my mom, this will tell you the power of AEW going on right now. My mom was a wrestling fan in her younger days and watches it just to make fun of it, but she absolutely loves AEW. We text during Dynamite, and she hates MJF with a passion. She calls people MJFers now.
Nice.
That's amazing.
But dude, that guy right there, man. Please don't Vince McMahon him.
No.
I love how old is he? 24, 25?
Yeah, he's still a baby. In the wrestling game, he's a baby.
how they just say, here's a microphone,
Go.
go.
Yeah.
And even though like he had that promo, I wasn't a fan of his promo against Brian Pillman, where he said that, you know, his mom should have swallowed him. One, it's over
No.
the top vulgar, and that joke's not even funny.
It's not.
I didn't like that. That's about the one notch I've ever had against him. But the fact that they trust that guy, here's a microphone, go. Vince McMahon doesn't let anybody but like 3 people go.
You know, like Roman's like that guy that can go and just do whatever the hell he wants. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you can tell too by the like he's just going. It's so natural. Like you
MJF,
just go be you. Got it.
MJF's contract, I believe, is up in 2024.
Where the hell would he go? He's not going anywhere.
I'm just saying though, like if, as we said, don't Vince McMahon him. Like you better hold on to him.
Oh,
'Cause
they're
I know-
going to,
I know he had teased WWE at one time.
but he knows he would never go. I
Oh,
don't-
yeah. I'm the man's
His
smart.
character would die.
Smart, like, you know.
Oh, he'd be worse.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be worse than the NXT call-ups. They'd have him. They'd put him in a feud with the Miz, and they both would be playing the same character, and MJF would be doing it better, and then the Miz would beat him
Yeah.
with some zombie lumberjacks, and that's how
And-
that would go. And then
A lumberjack o-lantern match.
yes, with Squidward tentacles as the special guest referee.
And when he gets knocked down, the zombie referee would come hobbling his ass down to the ring as they made a special appearance again on
Exactly.
Tuesday night. And the level of stupid, like it's bad. Like here, what? It's so bad of an idea. I'm gonna click that thing because it turns out it was on the desk when you were asking for it before. It was just under a mountain of shit.
Star would ring the bell before the 3 count.
That would be it. Like it was just like, please God, like him. I just because I kept thinking, I'm like, God, thank God that there's AEW because he couldn't like get away with, but he could get away with other people, but he wouldn't get the exposure. And MJF just like that guy's he's special. Like that's a special one right there. And it comes across.
So I mean, AEW got. I mean, they got their
Natural.
young talent, but he is like he did his promo a couple weeks ago where he was talking about the 4 pillars with Darby and Sammy Guevara and who's the other one, Jungle Boy. In my opinion, even though I like the other 3, he is so far above those other 3. Like
He is way ahead of his time.
Yeah,
Like
Darby
Darby and
put
Jungle
himself in
Boy-
a box.
Darby and Jungle Boy are good. Still, their
And they
characters
put themselves in boxes. Like with their characters, they put themselves inside of a box.
Yeah.
To me, like there's only so much you can do with there. MJF is like
MJF also
way up
wrestles-
here.
MJF wrestles smart
Yeah.
too. Like he doesn't do anything crazy. Like if he continues to do what he does, wrestling smart and the mic skills, he's gonna be in this business a long time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hell, Mike Skills alone, he's going to be in this business for a very long time because that son bitch can talk.
Yeah.
Kind of like Heyman.
Like they're just born with it. He's just
Yeah.
born with that talent. He is hands down amazing.
Yeah.
And
Like,
would
I have
watch an
nothing
entire
bad
show
to
of
say
him.
about him. Like, again, the Pillman stuff, maybe. But,
Yeah.
like, did you go there? Did you have to go there? Like, what? That was one of the times when everyone just looked and went, sorry, guy, what you finally missed. Like, what he said was phenomenal. It's just, like, you missed. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't have to do that one. But the rest of it in that whole entire program was great. And everything after that, it's great. Like, I'm so happy that, again, there was an AEW because where else was he going to go to be able to
Exactly.
do that?
He plays, and it's such a throwback heel
Yeah.
too.
Like, he's so,
Like-
like
Like the way he throws Warlord in front of people so that he doesn't get beat up, and
it's
It's-
phenomenal, isn't it? Like, it is like such a time past. Like, what,
Yeah,
how to play a character that you can make everybody hate you, and because everybody hates you,
And he he doesn't just do it on TV. He does it off TV. Like prime example, Randy Savage lived his character. MJF lives his character. Like there's no Undertaker lived his character. Like those are the three. Ric Flair. There's the four guys that I can think of right off the
Hey,
top.
let's get it right. Ric Flair is his character.
Well, you know what I meant.
Yeah. There wasn't any character development there. It's just
That was-
this is who I am.
That was Ric Flair.
They didn't let anyone get an inch in on that. It was all the time. You know what I mean?
I do.
I'd say-
But man, what Ric Flair was Ric Flair. Once he figured out who Ric Flair was, sorry, Richard
guess you
Flair,
could-
you died a long time ago.
I guess you could also say that with Randy Savage. I mean,
Randy Savage was
they were just a little off. One too many bumps.
one too many million. Like that guy was gone. But
Quick thing on this, since it was mentioned. I actually, again, I hate to plug it again. Dancing with the Stars, you're welcome. Heard he's lost 15 to
you're
20
not
pounds.
welcome.
Maurice isn't happy about it, but I mean, the dancing is actually pretty good.
To be honest, when is Maurice ever happy? I have watched a couple of his episodes of his little show, and
I love Ms. and Mrs. Me and the wife both
Are you
watching.
serious, Mike? He's very serious.
it is funny. But
Like, I'm not gonna lie, he is a good. He is.
to be completely honest, The Miz is in my top 25 solely for how that guy was the douchebag on the Real World and turned into main eventing WrestleMania.
He was a douchebag in the real world who got zero respect and had to dress in the hallways for months to the main event WrestleMania. I mean, he is beautiful at what he does. He works.
He is like, they need to make a
Smart.
movie. Like, he is more inspirational than Rudy.
Yeah.
Like, it is amazing. And then he was in the zombie lumberjack match.
I like the 24.
I just tried to forget about that. That was some silly shit right there.
I mean, I did like the 24 documentary, how they were thoroughly explaining all the bullshit he went through, you know, and he stuck it out. You got to give him that. Honestly,
I mean,
the guy in real life, he is a great dad. He is a great person. I'm not like,
He is.
seriously, like watching Ms. and Mrs. and watching the Dancing with the Stars and stuff, how they interacted with his family and the family of the coach that he's with. Like, he is a really
And
good.
and no matter what he's stuck into, like
Like,
whether it was the real world challenges, NXT, whether he's been on the main roster, his movie, his movies, whether he's been in the Marine 3 through 476 that no one's ever watched, Dancing with the Stars, like when he's in it, at least he does go like he's in it. Like, I will give him that. Like, he is fully in it. And his dad with that whole stupid thing. But like the Miz, I have to give him credit. Like, for where he was, like, he is fully invested into everything he's done.
He's at one of those company guys.
And
the
Vince
guy
McMahon,
that
of course.
was, drunk, fake wrestling himself in the real world. So
Right?
Hey,
Hey, those last couple challenges he was on, like that last one before he went to NXT, tough enough. He was one of the last. He was on
Tough
Tough
Enough,
Enough with Ryback, right? Ryback was just sweating, eating, so whatever the hell. It was just like he goes in and he's dedicated. And guess what? As a heel, like, the guy is good. Like, as much as his character makes you want to throw like something through your TV or dive through it, if you're a Patriots fan and they don't, let's not get into all that, but with all your stuff you've done, or as we're talking about the Patriots, if you're a Seahawks fan and Marshawn Lynch runs the ball straight through the Patriots defense like they don't exist, and then they go for a pass at the 1 yard line, and dude literally dove into his TV. Like, that's still the greatest video I've ever seen. Like, good for you, guy. Well, I've never been that mad, but the Miz has been dedicated to the core. But when we're talking about him losing like 14 pounds, he barely actually ever gets in the ring, especially in a long time. I mean, what did he do during the COVID thing? He ran his mouth. Morrison got beat up, which, by the way, Morrison's still not doing anything but finding his inner chi right now after he's been there for that long is disgraceful just for the talent level that he is.
He's doing more Instagram and Twitter posts with Frankie Monet than really anything at this
Frankie
point.
Monet hurts my brain. Let's not get into that. But he deserved to, like how often did the Miz wrestle for Like, no offense to him, like it's been, and you got to think like wrestling, like they go over everything before it, but when like they know everything, like they're not out. Like you got to think how many hours he's probably putting into learning those dance routines. Like he's putting in way more hours to those dance routines than he normally put into wrestling matches in like a week per day. Like he is beating the shit out of himself. But he's a good heel. And well, everyone I know that knows I'm a wrestling fan has messaged me. They're like, I don't know how he wrestles. But this son of a bitch can dance. Yeah, shut up. I don't want to hear it. I just want Morrison to get to do something. Besides,
Yeah, so sticking with him and Shinsuke would be great. I've always wanted to see them two wrestle. Like I think it'd be pure gold. I want to see one random match would be Shinsuke and John Morrison, because if they would just let them do
Johnny Mundo, Johnny Nitro, Johnny.
We can't have random matches in WWE. We have to have the same ones for 8 straight weeks.
exactly.
Repeatedly, like Liv and Mella, like, or I mean, never mind.
The Mysterios and Seth Rollins.
I will give them credit, whatever the hell that was. Like the title, like the match they're at, like Crown Jewel. At least it was the first time in weeks we didn't see some like either Bianca or Charlotte or Becky get involved in the main event match between somebody and interfere. At least we actually got to see a match, but that's because you're only allowed to bring so many women over to Saudi Arabia and actually let them do anything. That's a whole nother, let's keep
That's the other show kind of.
Yeah, that's the other show. But like at least a Crown Jewel, no one interfered. I mean, one way there's Becky doing something, and there's Charlotte, and Charlotte's attacking. Like they did the same thing, literally for 5 or 6 straight weeks, building Crown Jewel, like repeatedly, rinse, repeat. They did it on Monday, they do it on Friday, they go back and do it on Monday again, they go do it on Friday again, like back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back. Like I got hit in the head with the truck. I had more cognitive, not just repeating myself, severely concussed than these sons of bitches do, and they got billions of dollars off of Fox to do it. But SmackDown has been the better show since then. So as I digress, even if it was Roman 6 of the 8 segments, it was still better than Raw, because Raw is just a bunch of silly, stupid shit.
Silly, stupid shit would be an improvement.
True.
It's so boring. I don't care.
Yeah. Like if they were to stick Mae Young's hand in the ring for like 5 minutes, I'd probably be more entertained than anything else that they could come up with the rest of the show.
Like I almost want like the Authority back. Like give me someone to hate or something to care about.
We haven't who could we hate on Raw? You make a good point, Dan. Who could we hate?
Like they're trying to make
to
make Sonya Deville, which I still how the hell did she get power? I still don't know how. Like it's just 1 week she showed up and she's making matches.
Yeah, she showed up in a man suit, and all of a sudden,
On Raw she's okay, but then on SmackDown she's screwing over Naomi, which why Naomi's not in the blood. I don't know why they don't let me write for them, but
Yeah.
like,
They
why
should.
she's not part of the bloodline, I don't know.
Like,
But,
let the 3 of us write for you. Guess what? We're way cheaper than whoever the hell you're paying right now to come up with this stupid shit.
like
Oh,
Naomi
yeah.
should be in the bloodline, and the other person is I don't know why Britt Baker's not part of the Elite. That doesn't make sense to me either. But that I digress. But why now you have Naomi getting attacked by Shayna Baszler every week and Sonya being a fake referee and
Which was just a waste of a segment, really.
wait, is Sonya actually going to wrestle again? Like, why isn't she even wrestling?
I get why they took her off the TV, like during that whole stalker thing when she was dealing with the court stuff. Like, I get that, but that was, I think, over a year ago. I'm not trying to say get over it, but WWE needs to, like, I see it when when she was dealing with that, have her in the authority figure, so she just has to go to talk for 2 or 3 segments and then move on with your life, so she didn't have to figure out wrestling and match, like, just. But a year later,
She does know how to wrestle.
she does. Like,
And that's the problem. Like
that's probably my biggest problem. She can actually wrestle, and she's still doing
That
this
used to
silly
drive
shit.
me nuts with her and Mandy because she was so much
Much
better
better.
wrestler than Mandy.
Oh, yeah.
But Mandy was the star, and now Mandy's the NXT Women's Champion, which
Who doesn't want the Golden Goddess?
uh,
Even signed the Golden Goddess. Hey, I got it in a random like pack. I got like 3 autographs for like $20. So
The brunette princess now. So
that's like a $6.70, like 68 cent, whatever the hell it is.
But that actually goes to show though how great NXT is, even in their new stupidity. The fact
I hate
that
2.0, but
you
look.
can make her relevant as a wrestler and not just eye candy.
now I will give her credit. Since when she first got up to the main roster, I mean, she looks a little better. So I'm just holding out hope that it's like Raquel, because when Raquel first got the title, we're all like, me and him even talked about it. We're like, why?
yeah,
And look how much she improved. But granted, she was working with Braun or Adam or whatever the he wants to go by now.
the Titan supposedly he's signing with Impact. Last thing I heard,
But like, I mean, but she did improve as champion, so we could just hope Mandy improves. But
yeah,
really, JC and Gigi's ass, it's all Gigi's ass. Like if you don't like Gigi's ass, like
you're fired.
you're lying.
Yes.
Like I was sitting there watching with Hannah, she's like, butt cheeks, like, but she's got an ass. Like, yes. And she's a dyed redhead. Like, you know what I feel about gingers. We all know how I feel about them. But they are the Antichrist. They sucked hundreds of thousands of dollars out of me and made me a miserable prick that I am today. But like Gigi and JC are the talent. I just hope that Mandy actually improves. Because I mean, Raquel, regardless of what you think about her, she really did improve. I mean, like after she got champion, I just don't know why they didn't like Mandy beats her,
Yeah.
but she lost to Ember and and all these people.
And they could really take that whole toxic attraction thing. If they play it right, they could make it good. Could make it good.
Or they definitely could. Like the other two can wrestle though. Like they got to get Mandy up to scratch. To
yeah.
no
I mean,
offense, they're better than she is.
A few 6-man women's tag matches if they could figure out what to do with their women's roster. That's
I think I figured out what to do with everybody.
yeah.
Like, I mean, as long as they don't have Joe Gacy on screen, or whatever the hell his first name is. Exactly. As long as I don't have to see Joe Gacy and the snowflakes and just inclusivity and safe spaces and like, I'm sorry, Joe Gacy insults my intelligence because I live in the real world.
Yeah.
I don't live in snowflake land because I live in North Carolina. On the east coast of North Carolina. Guess what? There's not a lot of snowflakes here. Once every 5 or 6 years, there's snowflakes.
Yeah, what they're doing with Bordeaux is really, yeah, that's right. I went there. His name is Parker Bordeaux, not whatever stupid name Snitsky looking guy now, which really.
Arlen?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
That's the dumbest shit ever. Like, that just hurt my head even worse.
Again, we talked about it again. We didn't want him to be labeled the next Brock Lesnar. I get that.
He's nowhere near Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, well, just with a shaved head. You gotta let him keep the hair. Like,
yeah, like it's just.
By the way, he's going to be labeled it because he's already been labeled it. It's
It's just ridiculous that they went there already.
You might as well throw a Michael Myers, mask on him and let him do cartwheels in the ring.
Tell the kid not to look forward to the game. It's just going to hurt our heads. That's why I got lots and lots and lots of snacks.
You might as well have Gacy just, have a squirt bottle like a cat. Don't hurt him. Like, look kind of stupid. Stupid.
By the way, when he grabbed him like he did and touched him, how is that not a disqualification? But that's another story. That's one of the few really dumb moments from Halloween Havoc. Like, that was really dumb. Yeah, I hate Joe Gacy. Like, I hate. Like LA Knight and Dickhead, whatever his name is, arguing over who was the host, and the Dracula, like Joe Gacy. Like, someone kick him.
All Vince McMahon did was take PC Principle from South Park and make him a wrestler.
Like, it hurts my head so bad.
Original idea right there. Thanks. Any other randomness we have here? Quick shout out, Jim Duggan. Hopefully he gets better. Sucks what he's going through.
I saw this morning it's successful surgery.
Good.
Yeah, I did see that earlier.
Hopefully, that goes well.
There's a lot of random to talk about.
Cancer ain't nothing to with.
Yeah, cancer.
Yeah.
There's lots of shirts and all, but yeah. Like hopefully for just Jim's sake, that's good. I guess randomly we could talk about Dark Side because those are some good episodes in this third season. I mean, I caught up. I mean, like Pillman was still like far and above the best. But the last two that came back from the season break about what's its nuts. XPW? No. XCW, whatever the hell. Where New Jack threw the son of a bitch off the scaffold and tried to kill him. That wrestling promotion, which was nice to see New Jack. That was his last recorded interview ever. So that was good. And then
I'm still missing a few episodes. Did I watch it?
I actually caught up the one day while she was at work. I was just screw it. And they actually got like the lawyer from the WWE during all the steroid trial, like they actually got dude to talk, which
Oh wow.
no, he was on it. Like he's only allowed to say, what he's allowed to say, but I mean they got him
Oh
there, which was good. So that was, and I like the series. I'm just trying to think of anything else they could talk about on Dark Side. Really, I mean, it was just nice because Hannah walked in like, is there any happy endings to this show? It's like, not really.
No.
They're already like, no, it's already like it's Dark Side of the Ring. Is there a happy ending? Not really.
Hey, but there's a good another random thought here. There's a good reason to bring Chimmel back because obviously Greg Hamilton's stupid and decides to threaten a rapper and say I'm going to use WWE lawyers, and WWE goes, bye-bye.
You get Future Endeavored.
Yep.
They're really good at Future
I don't
Endeavored.
know why they ever got rid of Chimmel.
That's actually probably their best thing they're good at.
I love Chimmel.
Yeah.
I miss the Chimmel. Never thought I'd say that.
I just read an article that WWE is working on something to make their camera angles to make their performers look bigger.
Yep, I did see that too. Yes.
I'm
So
like,
happy I didn't see that.
write a better story.
Yeah.
Nobody cares if you're 6'2" or you're 6'3". Nobody cares.
As long as you can wrestle and tell a story with your wrestling.
Write a story. Nope. Gotta make them bigger.
I like the thing where during COVID that they were using the angles when they were coming down the ramp. They kind of every once in a while.
And what they did with Roman.
Yeah, like that was I actually kind of enjoyed and they
Yeah.
I did see some of it during the live events when they first started going live again, but then all of a sudden it was like, and I think they were more using it for 2K22 to kind of experiment with making that game better, which I read an article on that, but why all of a sudden it's going, I mean, it's a random thought, but I thought it was, especially on the 55-inch here, the LED, I mean, it looked great. It was,
Looks even better in 65.
well, not some of us have a wall we can, throw up a projector screen on either.
Hey, it looks better on the 65 than it does the projector. Thank you very much. I don't even, like the projector's in a bag on a shelf.
And speaking of 2K22,
So
that thing is going to be such a crap show. I'm actually more excited about the AEW game, given that it's being, processed with THQ. I mean, I just want to make a remaster of Here Comes the Pain and update the roster. If you give me that, I'll be happy. And I think that's exactly what AEW is going to be, based off of those controls. I mean, not knocking 2K22, but they haven't really been able to deliver. If 2K22 would actually be able to fix their servers and put the controls that THQ or what they're the THQ Nordic now, whatever their name
Whatever the
is,
hell this.
and that worked with Ukes, you'd have a good game. Throw a manager mode in there or GM mode, and there you go. You'd sell.
I haven't even played a game since
Last one I played was
17.
2K15 was the last one I played.
When Brock was on the cover. Wait,
No,
I think it was Brock. No, I mean mine.
Brock was 20 or 2K17. Yeah,
It was 17. Yeah, I played it for like a week because I got it at GameStop for like $8. I was like, it's $8.
Now you know why it's $8. Yeah.
Okay, it's $8. Yeah, and like I played it for about 10 minutes, and then I'd let Chaz's kids play it. Like, no, this.
I tried a free week subscription of the PlayStation Now, and I streamed 2K19, and I think I attempted one match, and I'm just like, just to see what the controls were like because I had a free trial. I'm like, you know what? It wasn't even worth a 7-day free trial.
Free trials always make everything easier when it sucks.
Yeah.
Anything free is worth saving up for. Actually,
Anything-
almost
I
anything
think
free.
WWE wise, even if I were to, find out how the controls are going to be for 2K22, I think I'd still buy a hard copy. Just so I could trade it in if it's really shitty.
From Annabelle
Well, I did like the what was the last WWE game? The cartoonish one,
Battlegrounds.
Battlegrounds. I liked it because the fact I played it with my kid because he liked it because the controls were easy for him.
Hey,
So that
you know
was fun.
You
That
know
was
what that
fun.
game was?
Fact.
I'm gonna say 3 months ago. 3 months ago. It was free if you're a PlayStation Plus member. That's how good the game was. They're like, please take it. Like, no one else is playing this shit. Like that seems to be how they do things. Like no one's watching it. No one's playing it. Here, just take it.
Yeah.
Like no offense to them, but and it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. When we'd be talking before, like we recorded, and you'd be saying, "Well, let me finish this level." Like, damn it.
Right. I was leveling up for the kid to unlock
Yeah.
stuff.
Like it wasn't that bad.
That was what it was for me.
But Bring Back the Pain and Raw vs. Just bring it. Like all of those are the best games they ever put out. So you can walk around backstage. You can interact. You could be GM. Like the controls were simple.
People over with the forklift.
The controls were easy. They had to put 97 buttons to do anything.
At least it wasn't like the Acclaim stuff when it first came out. Once THQ took over, I'm like, oh, thank God. I mean, N64 with No Mercy and WrestleMania, you still had to do a couple things, but it wasn't bad as what was it, WF Attitude and WF Warzone, where it was like Mortal Kombat kind of controls.
Mortal Kombat. If only it could be Mortal Kombat, like someone versus Vince McMahon would finish him. Like, do us all a favor and finish him.
Speaking of WB,
Vince's heart had to go in. Triple H's heart had to go in. God damn it. We're never going to get rid of him.
But speaking of WB, they are supposedly going to be collaborating maybe with NetherRealms or somebody, or just Warner Brothers in general. They're thinking about a Super Smash kind of style game with WB characters. That means like Rick and Morty, like Batman, and like all kinds of.
You have
Kind
Batman, Rick and Morty. I don't.
Brothers, but like Nickelodeon came out with their version of their Super Smash Brothers game, so that might be interesting. We might get Scooby-Doo and Shaggy finally, because they were talking about Shaggy for like the longest time in Mortal Kombat.
I don't have kids though, so I wouldn't buy it.
Well, Super Smash Brothers, I've always liked that.
I did, but between doing this show, doing the other show, stuff with Hannah, you tell me how it was.
Oh, and Dan, if you didn't see the new expansion for the Nintendo membership, we're going to get some N64 classics too, and Sega Genesis stuff.
I don't even have one of those, and I saw that.
Yeah.
I think you shared it.
Couple ones: Mario Kart, Star Fox. What were the other ones? Sonic the Hedgehog 2, a couple other ones. So that's going to be $50 a year now instead of $20, which not too bad.
I know, I'm pretty excited. That's all they're doing with the GTA remakes for the Switch. It's going to be three of them.
Yep. The definitive edition. First, it was going to. I know it's on Switch, and then I was seeing that it was just going to be PlayStation 5. I just saw yesterday it's going to be also PlayStation 4, because I was actually thinking about pulling the trigger on the one that they already had that wasn't the remake, and I'm kind of glad I waited.
Because sometime maybe before I'm dead, they'll have GTA 6, but it saves me a lot of money because I don't need to buy a new console until they have GTA 6. So.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
When they get GTA 6, then I gotta drop a mortgage payment on a video game console.
Yeah.
Literally.
Or maybe you just might have to upgrade to the OLED switch. Maybe they'll at least have it for maybe that. I mean, the graphic improvements, I actually did see a video. It looks 10 times better. They were showing the comparisons before and after, so big difference.
Better be.
But I've always been a fan of any Rockstar game, really. I mean, I haven't really had any complaints. Loved Red Dead, Red Dead Zombies, Red Dead 2, any Grand Theft Auto game.
There you go. Like Grand Theft Auto, I'm just proud of where they came from the overhead cam to
Yeah.
where they are now. I haven't played them in so long.
I mean, who doesn't want to, pick up a hooker, give them money, do what you got to do, beat the crap out of them, kick them out of the car, and take their money.
Run them
Yeah.
over and get less money than you paid them.
And
It's
get
just
away
amazing.
from it.
It's just amazing. Like they take your
Every
money,
single
you
one of
run
them
them over,
games
you
are
get
great.
less money.
Except for San Andreas. San Andreas sucks.
Yeah, that was weird, right? Like, that
Yeah.
was
You had to eat. It's like, wait a minute. I'm a gangster and I want to kill people. I don't want to have to stop and get like some fried chicken or a sandwich.
need to stop it. Need to stop it in and out to get myself.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
Vice City
bro.
was my thing.
I love Vice City.
Love Vice City.
It was so ridiculous with all that, but like for what they were trying to accomplish, like that was perfect
Yeah.
for what they were trying to do. I haven't played Grand Theft. Oh my god, was it 5 with like the Russian guy or whatever? 4? I don't know. I haven't played
yeah,
Grand Theft Auto.
five.
Well, I got 5 when it was on sale for
Someone-
PlayStation 4.
I had it and then someone stole it, and well, then they died, so I didn't get it back. Out of spite, still for all these years, I'm yet to play it. But Rockstar's made some great games, so I mean,
Yeah.
they should have them make WWE games. At least it's almost guaranteed it won't suck. They'll never do it, but it's almost guaranteed it won't suck. Almost. Not almost. Almost.
I even liked LA Noir. I mean, it's for what it was.
Yeah, I've only heard some stuff. I never actually played it. I never even actually saw it.
Yeah,
Ever.
they released LA Noir for next gen, which I played before, which couldn't beat the price on it. It's something like, it's more tasteful that my kids can play. It's nothing extreme because all you're doing is searching around. You're not really
Well, don't have your kids play.
aggressive. I
What's
mean,
that
not my
game?
6, I'm talking about 12-year-old, but at least it's not as aggressive as Grand Theft Auto.
What's that game? Don't have your kids play Cyberpunk.
I wouldn't buy that even if somebody gave it to me for free. I wouldn't play it even if somebody gave it to
Hey.
me for free.
Crystal's little one, David, came over and played it on the projector one day. Oh my god!
Yeah, I heard so many bad issues with that. So many
Oh,
bugs.
like he didn't have any issues. Like he was just you're just sitting there watching it, going, it was. I don't know. I didn't buy it. I wouldn't spend money on it. But I
Was
was
it that extreme?
Like I just saw like the dildos and like the shapes of like forearms and fists and so, like yeah, you heard me. Like I was sitting there watching it, going, "Excuse me."
Yeah.
But
We've gone from prosthetic hands to other prosthetic things, but okay. I think I'm just going to let that one.
it's a hand,
We'll let that ride.
and we can't be a day before Halloween and not mention the boogeyman. He's coming to get you. Then the bell rings.
And Wyndham Rotunda will wind up somewhere besides wrestling
And,
or hockey.
and Snitsky punting a baby. That goes. I don't know why I like him.
and where the hell is Funaki?
Can't forget Funaki. Where the hell? SmackDown's #1 announced. Like he was both in the ring, on commentary, like everything. Like Funaki killed it.
Wouldn't mind seeing Stephanie McMahon show up on SmackDown in that witch's outfit again, but whatever. She's busy, but
That was a beautiful sight
yes.
for all of mankind.
And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Whether you want to talk about like Mankind the man, Mankind the character, Mankind in general. And John Cena is the greatest character to ever come out of a Halloween party in WWE. Is him dressed up as Vanilla Ice is the beginning of all that rapping thing, and look where it got him. And his rap album didn't totally suck, but can't forget those few people there. And when you brought up the stuff, I will say Kane and Taker, not the best rivalry. That's the best story ever told by WWE.
I was gonna say, and I get exactly where you're coming from.
That's the best story ever. It leads into rivalries and together tag team, like they just did everything together until they went to Saudi Arabia, but that's another story. So with that though, it's getting late. We got things to do. Penn State's about to get that ass whooped. Don't worry. I'm an Indy Lions fan too. I feel the pain just watching it last week going, like they're 2-something. Like, do something.
Yep, 9 overtimes.
Hey, they should have won the week before. If Clifford didn't get hurt, they would have won that game. But because it was a whole different game till he got hurt. But it was good. We need to get Dan on here more often, so Justin can stop saying his name. We could do Saturdays or I don't know. We could do it whenever Penn State's watching, because then me and him don't have to watch the games for a little bit.
It's very true.
Because it
And
hurts
the
our brain.
positive thing is, after this, me and him get to go trunk or treating and not have to cry. Well, we might.
All right,
I might cry a little bit.
I'll be sitting here until she gets out of work, but it's her last day at the little gym, and then she's moving on to a job with the city.
There you go.
Yeah. She works for the city of Jacksonville. I think they can get lit on fire, and I wouldn't care. I'd watch. They started it. Literally, they started that one. But it was good to have Dan. It was good to have you, Justin. We should do this once a week or something,
That's fun. That was fun.
Figure out a time, let everyone get all the stuff out. But
I will come back anytime I can talk about MJF.
hey, Thursdays, you're very welcome. And Saturdays, Thursday and Saturday.
Yep.
Sunday, I can go any day. I don't care.
For everyone else,
Countdown of memorable MJF moments, and
you can do that. Top 10.
And there's plentiful. Like, just give him a microphone. You remember it.
there's a top 10 probably just between him and Jericho, and that feud was
Oh yeah.
great.
Heck, you know what? Let's do an episode on that feud.
That
There we
feud
go.
was
We can
great.
do that. Next time we're all together, we will do that.
And
That
for
feud
everyone-
was great.
For
That feud
everyone
was
watching,
beautiful.
make sure you do that thing that's behind old Jesse there. Let us know what you think. Throw us some ideas for episodes, as always.
Thumbs up for the video.
Yes, follow along on all the platforms. Hold on, it's going to take me a second. Videos are on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. I'm not putting them on Instagram because they're too long and they won't accept 90% of them. And then audio is hold on. Anchor, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcasts, and Audible. I can't believe I just got through all 14 or 15 of them.
Ran out of fingers here.
Yeah, I didn't screw it up. I mentioned them all. So please follow along, listen. We appreciate it. Tell us what you think. Enjoy your Halloween, right? Enjoy your trunk or treating, whatever the hell else you're doing. And we'll be back later. I will get him back because it was fun to have him here because his insight is phenomenal. So thank you for joining us, Dan. And we'll get you guys later. So enjoy your Halloween. Do what the damn TV tells you to do, for the love of God. And I'll be back here on Monday. So enjoy trick or treating and peace.